weird video games.
Let me tell you all about this little game called Bruce Lee. They adapted the concept of a person into a video game. Has that been done before? I mean, sure, if you count fictional characters, we can do that all day. And yes, video games have been made about real people many times, but there's usually a more concrete concept stuck right in the title. Tony Hawk plus skateboarding, Jackie Chan plus kung fu and action, Lee Trevino plus fighting golf, Shaq plus Fu. It's pretty uncommon to have a video game just tell you you're playing the person of Bruce Lee and that's all you're given. If you don't think that's weird, try to imagine a video game just called Barack Obama or Johnny Depp or Oprah Winfrey. Unless you're burrowing into Oprah's skull with some kind of neural optic control deck and physically controlling her with a remote control, saying you're playing Oprah Winfrey sounds fracking insane. And if a federal agent overheard you say you're playing Vladimir Putin, he'd be allowed to shoot you on sight because no matter what you meant by that, there's a 99% chance you just confessed to treason or some kind of war crime. Originally developed for the Atari 8-bit computers, Bruce Lee was also simultaneously released for Commodore 64, and later released for a boner load of other systems, but just the two at first. The two versions are almost identical, so I'll talk about them both, for reasons that aren't necessarily related to the fact that I realized it wasn't originally a Commodore game right at the last minute and had to hastily retool my script. So what's it actually about? Do you guide Bruce Lee through his marriage and acting career? Is there a level where you have to win the starring role of Kung Fu and no matter what you do, they give it to David Carradine instead? Or is this just meant to be an adaptation of some of his movies? Actually, neither. Well, his costume does kind of look like the one from Game of Death, but that's the only resemblance to any of his movies. And that's already pretty tenuous, since I'm pretty sure he's not wearing a motorcycle jacket and is actually wearing no shirt at all. I don't know, if he is, it's the same color as his skin. Now, before you start screaming racism, keep in mind some of these older games didn't have a whole lot to work with in terms of colors. The Commodore 64, for example, had only 16 colors. A lot of Commodore characters had yellow skin because they only have so many possible tones to choose from. Yellow is used as a skin color in this Popeye game, Golden Axe, Wheel of Fortune, Chinese Juggler. Okay, that one might be legitimately racist. Anyway, it's not one of his movies. They made up their own original adventure for him. I'm not sure if this is meant to be Bruce Lee himself, suddenly immersed in this world of danger and chaos for some reason, or if this is a fictional character played by Bruce Lee, or, a drawing of Bruce Lee. Now there's a weird concept. A pixel art rendition of Bruce Lee stars as Alan in Bruce Lee, directed by this printout of Che Guevara. Okay, let's just get moving on this. So here's Bruce Lee, of sorts, on a mission to collect lanterns, for some reason. Maybe he's trying to steal treasure from this ancient palace or something, and the only treasure is lanterns, I guess. Or, who knows, there could be a perfectly benign reason why he needs all these lanterns. It just isn't really explained. Suddenly, ninja! Bruce Lee has a couple options here. Number 1, punch. Number 2, flying kick. Number 3, just climb away and leave the ninja standing there, utterly defeated by the harsh mistress that is gravity. Ninjas can't jump, I guess. Makes sense. Go on, name one instance in pop culture media where ninjas jump. I rest my case. Checkmate. His one other recurring foe is a green sumo wrestler. So, everything about this game feels like it's meant to be a Chinese setting. Because Bruce Lee is Chinese. Chinese temples, yin-yangs, these statues, this guy. Yet the recurring bad guys are distinctively Japanese. Ninjas and sumo wrestlers. And he's green. Why is he green? I can speculate on all kinds of aspects of the sumo wrestler that might explain why he's green, but for some reason I can't help but feel that he's meant to be an otherwise perfectly ordinary human sumo wrestler that just happens to be green. Like Bruce, the sumo can punch and jump kick. Very sumo. This makes him much more powerful than the svelte armed ninja whose only attack is with his sword, which makes this hilarious sound effect every time you get poked. However, like the ninja, the sumo can't jump or duck. And since Bruce Lee can, that leads to stalemates such as this one. Every time the sumo appears, he takes a moment to yawn? I'm going to assume it's some kind of battle cry, but the sound effect makes it sound like a yawn. So anyway, Bruce Lee runs through an underground maze full of conveyor belts, spikes, lasers. I don't know what these are. If they hit you, they make a teleport sound, or a zap sound in the Commodore version. But sometimes they fly across the room, and sometimes they just travel along the ground like some kind of electrical current or something. There are also these things. I can't even guess what they are. Metal claws, asymmetrical shuriken, spiders, crabs. Whatever they are, they make the same zappy sound as the laser, as whatever these are. And so are the spikes for that matter. So the sound effect really gives us no clue at all. We can't assume anything. Unless these are laser spikes. Please let these be laser spikes. There's also active volcanoes underground, or some kind of geyser. It only goes off after someone walks onto it, so it appears to be some kind of trap. I don't know. I'm not an expert in geological IEDs. 2 players can play this game. They can take turns playing as Bruce Lee, and there's also a game mode where the opposite player takes control of the green sumo. It gives you extra lives based on the assumption that your friend is going to be smarter than the computer and that you're actually going to fight each other. But they didn't count on your friend being a reckless nincompoop that runs right into traps. Since the green guy respawns indefinitely, why wouldn't you? If I woke up one day and looked in the mirror and saw that I was a green sumo wrestler, the first thing I'd do is a cannonball into a stream of lasers. And you're lying. Trying to tell me you wouldn't, liar? Death is a tragedy, but not if you come back to life seconds later, then it's just recreation. The second player can also help gang up on the ninja if they want. There's even certain areas where the ninja has no idea how to react to the sumo attacking him and just shuts down like a confused robot. My ninja is broken. Can I have another one? When controlled by a player, the sumo can jump. Normally he's just as stumped as a ninja by the elusive mystery that is jumping. Not now, but he still can't duck. Pressing down on the joystick just makes him yawn. Oh man, I could do this all day. Halfway through the game, you return to the statue, and it's now perpetually yawning too, signaling that you can go ahead through to this castle or something, and suddenly everything changes. It's like they swapped the palette or something, which doesn't make sense because it's still using all the same colors as before, just in different ways. And now the same objects that behave exactly the same way look different for some reason. The exploding geyser thing now looks like... So anyway, it shoots black lava, or sparks, or vomit. I still don't know what this thing is, and the new graphics do sordid little to clarify. It seems like Bruce Lee has entered into some kind of mystical realm, like in Big Trouble in Little China. Or, well, maybe just Chinese mythology in general, but... No, I'm pretty sure the developers watched Big Trouble in Little China and decided to make it into a game starring Bruce Lee. The lanterns look more like earrings now. It's like the graphics have been corrupted or something. I don't even understand the graphical change when you pick one up. It doesn't look like a lantern being removed. It looks like an arbitrary mass of pixels turning into another arbitrary mass of pixels. The game comes to an end when you fight this gigantic statue thing that spits flashing things, and you defeat him by running up and hitting the switch that... wait, let's break this down. So, it's a big monster statue guy? I mean, I guess it's not actually a statue, it just stays mostly still. Only its head moves. I can't tell if it's limitations of the system, or if it's intended to be a giant monkey in a weird hat paralyzed from the neck down. The point is, I don't know what this abomination is supposed to be. And that's a problem if I ever have to say its name backwards in a mirror when it comes for me in my dreams. Second, it spits flashing rocks. I mean, like, when I was a kid, I had an older friend who beat the game before I did and tried to describe this boss to me. When he said it spat a flashing bouncing thing at me, I was thinking of the fireballs in Super Mario Bros. Because in the mid-80s, my imagination was pretty much limited to Mario, so I said they must be fireballs. Then later, when I beat the game, I ended up calling him on the phone just to say that it turns out he spits rocks at you. Like, I was that sure of it for some reason that I had to phone the guy just to tell him. Let's be honest here. I have no idea what these are. Add it to the list. I don't know what any of these things are. Bruce Lee fights abstract shapes, the game. And he defeats the boss by running up and touching a switch, which fries him as if he's sitting on the world's biggest electric chair. By electric chair, I mean the type used for executions. Not an electric chair like the massage chair I'm sitting on. It's my wife's chair. She doesn't know I'm using it.
Tom, I said it's okay if you want to use it.
So, there's a lot about this game I still don't understand. Well, that's what the manual's for, right? Except the manual is clearly written by someone who had no actual idea either and just made wild guesses like I did. Seriously, look at these credits. Programmer, artist. Game concept by the programmer and the artist. Guy who did documentation, totally different guy. Obviously, the publisher grabbed a copywriter or the closest available young adult fiction enthusiast and said, here's a game about Bruce Lee and a bunch of things happening. Make those things into words so the people who play it don't think this is some kind of porn. No, you're not allowed to talk to the programmer or artist. They're already working on the Goonies and Disney's Aladdin. The manual says this flashing thing is a fireball, although I don't know why it's not bright red or yellow as opposed to black. It says this is an electric current that runs along the ground. Okay, it's the world's slowest electric current, but sure. Or is this the electricity? It's vague. And pan lights that follow you? Why does it have the word pan highlighted like that? I googled pan lights and all I get are these. And I'm not sure about Chinese, but in Japanese I'm pretty sure the word pan means bread. So naturally the best assumption we can make is that this is a game where Bruce Lee dodges incandescent bread. I don't know. I guess this is a game where Bruce Lee walks on an electrified surface and tries to dodge the electricity. That makes sense. Sort of. It makes video game sense. And sometimes it doesn't run along the ground, but shoots through the air like a laser beam. Or is that a different hazard that just looks the same and behaves similarly that the manual doesn't mention? And of course, the final boss is a wizard. Yes, this is a wizard. Just, your run-of-the-mill 40-foot-tall wizard. And he shoots fire from his eyes, even though it looks and sounds like it's from his mouth. That's his magic. Don't question him. Questioning the giant wizard incurs the wrath of the giant wizard. This green sumo guy is called the Green Yamo. Okay, what's a Yamo? Is that something different than a sumo wrestler? Hold on, I have to Google this. Okay, according to Wikipedia, a Yamo can mean one of three things. An unrelated French thing, an unrelated German thing, and finally the character Green Yamo from the computer game Bruce Lee. Fantastic. I feel so much better informed now, Internet. This must be what it feels like Googling for proof the Earth is flat. You just keep going around and coming back to the same tired circular logic. Circular like the Earth, because it's round. I can't believe this is a controversial topic. So Bruce Lee's quest to collect lanterns, fight an army of green sumo wrestlers, and electrocute a titan comes to an end. Bruce Lee jumps repeatedly in victory in a burning building. Then he just kind of stops, after which you gain control of him again, except all he can do is punch. Congratulations! Then you start over again. Wait, just one thing. The manual says you're on a quest for infinite wealth and immortality. But the only wealth you accumulate is lanterns. If there's any other treasure, it probably burns with the rest of this palace you're jumping victoriously in. And when you go through the game a second time, you're still able to die. Dude got ripped off. This is why you don't listen to legends given to you from fortune cookies. So, after all that's been said and done, what is it about this game that's so weird? Bruce Lee fights a green sumo wrestler. That's pretty much it. 6 out of 10.
Okay, yeah, look, they're... Yeah, no.
No, Tom, no, I don't think I'll be doing that. At all. Because I don't want to.
For anybody who doesn't know, I was requested to dress up as a sumo wrestler, and
I only have a blue screen sumo wrestler suit. Sorry.
I mean, I don't know, man. Number one, I don't have any of the costume parts to make that happen, and I really don't feel like buying them for this, because number two, look at me. Number three, look at me. Yeah.
Do I look Japanese to you?
Because I have to vacuum the floor, because I'm getting my hair done, because I am not a sumo wrestler, because you're not paying me enough, because I have better things to do with my time, because I have to make Bulbasaur plushies.
I'm simply too powerful.
I mean, I don't know where you were going to go with your sketch, but as far as asking me is concerned, I really don't think that you thought your brilliant plan all the way through. So much so that instead of simply messaging you like a polite and normal person would do, I still sat down and filmed the segment and explained, not to you, but to anybody who sees this, why I'm not doing this.
Tom, usually I'd have your back on these kind of green screen sumo wrestler suit kind of things, but it is International Let Your Friend Down month, and I've got to let you down.
Come to think of it, I'm a jerk.
Because I don't have green skin paint, because I don't have a green sumo wrestler bodysuit, because I am not a sumo wrestler, because it's not my job to do these things for you. Take your pick, Tom! There are so many reasons why I'm not doing it!
Let's do this!
I only do that kind of stuff naked.